So I think in Thailand, probably one of the biggest trends that we're seeing in the fintech space is blockchain. I know a lot of folks in the industry have been talking about it for a few years, and there certainly has been quite a bit of hype. But I think we've gotten further down the industry so that Thailand has sort of absorbed what blockchain is, has sort of separated out the signal from the noise, and is now starting to work with tangible use cases. So we're actually seeing quite a few banks look at blockchain solutions for international remittances. My own bank, Siam Commercial Bank, has been working with Ripple for the past few years on international remittances. Several of the banks, including our own, as well as a number of our peer banks, have been looking at trade finance, so letters of guarantee, looking at letters of credit on blockchain. We're looking at some digital identity use cases. Siam Commercial Bank just recently formed a collaboration with a number of universities to put university transcripts and records on the blockchain. So we're seeing, and I would say it's not limited to just finance. We're seeing hospital groups move digital records, patient records on blockchain. We're looking at procurement payment systems with logistics companies on blockchain. So I would probably say that is the biggest trend in Thailand, but we are actually starting to see a lot of movement on core artificial intelligence technologies, machine learning. How is that being applied to credit scoring? How is that being applied to customer engagement? So a lot of the technologies that might have seemed overhyped over the last few years are actually finding real tangible use cases in Thailand. Thailand has been very unique in the sense that over the past 2 years, corporate venturing has gone from almost nothing to just exploded. I would say before 2016, you could probably count the number of corporate venture arms on one hand, less than one hand. Now there are probably about 24 very large corporations in Thailand that have started venturing units, incubation, acceleration units, innovation arms. And so it's a market that has gone from not knowing anything about corporate innovation to throwing themselves in the deep end. From our perspective as Siam Commercial Bank, we are the first bank to have launched a corporate venturing arm. So a lot of our lessons revolve around how do we engage with startups from the perspective that we're not dealing with large technology vendors anymore. We're not working with the Accentures and the SAPs and the IBMs. We're working with these really small emerging companies that don't have 5 years of track record, that move in cycles that are at light speed faster than most corporate decision-making systems and schedules are. So, it's been a learning experience on, I would almost say our role is how do we bridge the gap between the suits and the hoodies? Because it is a real cultural gap, both in terms of expectation, work, quality, and it's not just the suits learning how to work with fast-moving startups, but how do entrepreneurs meet the expectations of quality and scale that these large enterprises need from a technology vendor. So I think with regards to blockchain, even if there's a lot of interest and enthusiasm and a lot of corporations are actively engaging with blockchain, it's still very early days because it's still a very nascent technology. It's a technology that I don't think the entire universe of viable use cases have been fully explored yet. I don't think corporations have pushed the technology to its technical limits yet. So I think it's still an opportunity for banks to learn from these technologies, to see what use cases are viable, what aren't, where it actually makes sense to use a blockchain. And even the idea of blockchain, do companies use permission blockchains? Do you use public blockchains? Do they use different configurations? Where are smart contracts most helpful? In what cases do you not even need a blockchain? Maybe a simple database will do. These are all questions that, this is a technology that's only a few years old. Cryptocurrency has been around, Bitcoin has been around for 10 years, but the real tangible use cases for blockchain are only a few years old, so it's still very early days.